Baltimore County woman charged with shooting her husband over accusations that he molested children at the daycare center she owns will remain in jail in Washington, D.C. This morning, a judge ordered Shantari Weems stay behind bars ahead of her next court date, which is in August. Now, we told you last week that Weems was arrested after shooting James Weems Jr., allegedly, in a hotel room in Washington. Her lawyers say she fired in self-defense when she confronted him about those molestation claims. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren, he's live in Washington, D.C. He was the only Baltimore television reporter in that courtroom this morning, Mike, which I understand was very emotional.
Denise, there was some drama. People were angry about this decision and began yelling at the judge, both in the courtroom and those watching in an online feed. Now, the judge explained essentially that she cannot consider the motive at this phase and that Shantari Weems should not have taken the law into her own hands. An emotional scene outside of the courthouse where friends and family of Shantari Weems comfort each other moments after a judge orders her held without bail. Weems owns a daycare in Baltimore County. She's accused of shooting her husband James Weems Jr. over allegations he was molesting children there. The violent encounter happened at a luxury hotel in Washington, D.C. last week, where Weems, a retired Baltimore City police officer, was on a work trip on a security detail.
Regardless of whether or not you feel like what she did was justifiable, she was protecting children.
Obviously, she's disappointed.
Her attorney, Tony Garcia, argued she shot her husband in self-defense.
She was emotionally shattered. And then she went down there asking him what happened. He went from 0 to 1,000. He came at her, and she had to defend herself.
The prosecutor alleges Weems never told police she was scared of her husband, and the judge explained the reason she confronted him is not a factor the court considers. Weems, handcuffed and wearing an orange jail jumpsuit, wept inside the courtroom. Family, including her mother, declined to speak to WJZ. We did obtain an affidavit from the detective who interviewed her. He described a bloody scene. One bullet went through her husband's neck. Another remains lodged in his thigh. Police say Shantari Weems wrote in a notebook that James Weems is scum. I hope you get beat up in jail. I'm going to paralyze you. And I want these kids to get justice. My only regret is that I didn't put the bullet in your head. She apologized to her babies at the daycare, writing that she did not know about the abuse.
Being behind bars and taking your freedom from you is hell.
And right now, James Weems remains in custody here in Washington. We're told that Baltimore County Police are going to pick him up on Monday and bring him back to Maryland to face justice. He is facing at least 3 charges of molesting children at the daycare. Reporting live at Superior Court in Washington, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Today is Monday, August 8th. The year is 2022. So, the owner of a daycare center in Baltimore shot and injured her husband after he was accused of molesting several children at the daycare center that she owned. This was her husband, who was an ex-police officer. He was accused of molesting several children. She confronted him at a hotel that he was staying at doing some work, doing some type of security work. And she confronted him about the situation and claimed they got into a fight, and then she ended up shooting him and all this other stuff. She's in jail, he's in jail. Now, y'all, you cannot take the law into your hands. I don't care what the circumstances are. When she found out what her husband was accused of, a parent was the person who approached her. When the parent approached her and told her what had happened, if she believed this to be true, that the parent was being truthful, taking a gun and going over to shoot your husband was probably not the best thing to do, y'all. Let's just keep it real. I know some of y'all probably sitting over there, yeah, how would he did it? I'm glad she did it, all this other stuff. But y'all, you can't take the law into your own hands. She should have just went to the police with what she had, that immediately called 911 and said, this is what's going on, and let them handle it. she would be free right now, not in jail. You know, in regards to him being injured in the shootings and stuff, you know, this woman's facing some very serious charges. On top of the serious charges he's facing. I think I would have just went to the police personally with that parent, and we could have went that direction versus me grabbing a gun and driving over to the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Washington, D.C. Not making any sense here. And if you think that you can get away with doing this type of stuff, sadly, she's finding out that her behavior, what she did, was not correct. I don't care how emotional she was. I don't care how much in shock she was. Because the court system doesn't care about this. The court system don't care about you with all this miscellaneous bullshit. They don't care about that. They just looking at your actions and what you did. So whenever you have a situation where something like that is going on, where they're looking at your actions and they're looking at the crazy stuff you did versus you then made the decision, well, I'm going to go shoot somebody because they did this. They did that. They don't care about that. They don't care about what has happened. They don't care about what this person did. You cannot take it upon yourself to go and seek justice. Now, she's claiming they got into a fight. He went from 0 to 1,000 and started attacking her. Possibility all this might be true. The nigga probably is crazy. Goes back. She took a gun with full intentions to harm this man. Full intentions. And that was not wise. And I don't care what y'all say. And this woman's sitting in jail. And what if these accusations turn out to be false? What if it isn't true? What if he didn't do what he's being accused of? I don't think I'm going to grab a gun and go pursue nobody. I've been through all kinds of shit in life, and I can assure you all, it ain't never crossed my gun. I'm going to go shoot this person. I'm going to get a gun and go take it. Never. An attorney stole $100,000 from me. I was furious with his ass, but it never crossed my mind to go over there and shoot that nigga. He got karma and eventually called his ass any damn way, and I did get my money back. Those of you who think that grabbing a gun is the solution in shooting, I mean, everybody just get a gun, and everybody got a gun today. And we feel that this is the best scenario. I don't get it. And then when you sit up in jail, you know, everybody wants you to have, y'all want us to have sympathy. I understand this woman's dilemma, but she went about this all the wrong way. And because she went about this the wrong way, it minimized the charges against him because what she did. Now it's a circus. She shot him, wrote a note and all this stuff, was plotting and planning this mess. Wouldn't spur of the moment. You went over there with full intentions to harm this man. Instead of just going to the police and letting them take care of it. If you knew that if I owned a daycare center and one of my employees was a family member, husband, wife, whoever, mother, brother, sister, and this is what they're accused of, and I own this daycare center, I can't seek justice for these children and what took place allegedly. I have to put it into the right people's hands. Especially if I knew nothing about what was going on. Obviously, if these allegations are true, she said she didn't know anything about this, which I'm sure she probably didn't know anything about it. But again, if these allegations are true, there are a lot of people who have been accused of crimes that later on found out they didn't do it. So, especially when it comes to something like children, these are minor children. I don't know the age of these children. There's another parent involved. Yeah, I've seen some nigga shit take place in my lifetime where a parent will accuse somebody of child molestation when the parent themselves have been having sexual relationships. You never know, one of those parents could have been having sex with him, and then he stopped having sex with them on some type of relationship. And then he said, I'm gonna get his ass. I'm gonna say my child. You just don't know what's going on. It's unfortunate. Now I got an old angry puppy. I just fed his ass, man. He's gonna have to wait a few minutes. But anyway, I know that a lot of you are probably sympathizing with what she did. and probably don't see anything wrong with her actions. But you cannot take justice into your own hands. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care how angry you are. We've got to start thinking before we do stuff. When she was driving over there to that, she had plenty of time to stop what she was doing. This is why the court didn't give her bond. Because she had plenty of time when she was driving over there with this gun and writing notes and all this stuff to stop, think, and go about it the right way is what she should have done. And she may end up serving jail time behind this or prison time for aggravated assault. And God forbid if this man die over this. And what if these allegations are false and not true? This is the thing that bothers me about this whole thing. She took justice into her own hands. If it is true, now she's saying that he attacked her. None of us were here. We don't know what took place. But she's in jail. He's in jail. She's in jail charged with shooting him. He's in jail charged with... But give me a second. Let me take him out for a few minutes. I just fed him. I think he's going to just be determined to interrupt this video. He's loud as hell over there. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. So, once again, we have this situation where someone has taken upon themselves to make the decision to take the law in their hands and go out and resolve an issue that should be left up to the police and the court system. As to why this young woman, she was just denied bail, Shanteria Weems. She's being held as a hero on social media, as a vigilante hero, and she was charged with assault with intent to kill. She shot her husband inside a D.C. hotel room after she heard he had been sexually abusing kids at the daycare center she owns. I don't know what to say about all this other than the fact that you shouldn't be going around shooting folks accused of a crime that I don't care regardless of the scenario. I mean, the judicial system is not going to look favorably upon you making a decision to go in there and shoot somebody because of allegations, and he hadn't even been charged with a crime at this point. So since he hadn't been charged with a crime at this point, she made the decision that she was going to go get her gun, and that was going to be that. So, I'm not sure what to say about all that, but I know a lot of you all probably don't agree with what she did. The question to be now is what's going to happen to her in the court system. Since she's been charged, she's going to be held until sometime in August, late August, when she goes to court to get a bond. Then after she goes to court to go to bond, she's going to be facing these serious charges unless she takes a plea deal or something. They're just not going to say, okay, but we're going to let you go because, we know what your husband did and that's awful and we just going to drop these charges. That ain't happening. They're going to take some type of negotiated plea deal, or she's going to go to court, or she's going to go to a jury trial, and if them decide that she wrote, but there's so much evidence against her because she wrote this note, this letter, and all this other stuff. You cannot take it upon yourself to decide justice and what type of justice will be meted out for this individual for what he did. If he is guilty of these crimes, it still doesn't matter. You can't grab a gun and decide that you're going to take care of this situation yourself. You cannot do that. Had she just went to the police with that parent and immediately said, this is what my husband's being accused of, and let the police handle it, and I think she'd been better off. Because she could say she really didn't know anything about this. She immediately went to the police department, immediately went to the state, immediately turned over every evidence or whatever she had against him or whatever proof that she had. I don't know what it could be or whatever. And then she could just sit back and just let the state resolve it on its own. And she wouldn't be in jail now. Her daycare wouldn't be in, possibility of closing because this stuff does happen. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that this happened. And it's very unfortunate it was her husband who did this at her own business. So I understand the logic why she was very upset about this. I do get that. Her livelihood, her business, her reputation, all is on line for something he supposedly did. Remember, these are still allegations, so we can't say he did it. I don't work for the police department. They haven't put out any proof that he did this. He's just charged. But anyway, those are just my thoughts and opinions. I know how y'all can feel right now. She did the right damn thing, but she's sitting up in jail, facing serious charges. Y'all ain't. Y'all walking around free. Yeah, she did the right thing, but you ain't in jail. Y'all promote this foolishness, but you won't do it your damn self. Y'all, because you know better. I know better. You know better, and she knew better. But anyway, today is Monday, August the 8th. It's going to be a short video. I got stuff I need to do. I'm going to do a quick video about that and discuss it. I saw it over social media. This woman should not have done what she did. She should have went and saw. She should have handled things differently. She wouldn't be in jail. But anyway, I'm out of here. And I'll call y'all. Today is Monday, August the 8th, year 2022.